Forgive me for my wrongs, I have just begun. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. Huh. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking.
Akasan's honest reactions, Akasan. Let's get into the next one here. Don't worry, I unplugged it this time. No problems. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. And it's time to go back to school with film theory. It's called Film Theory. Can the Joker Save DC Films Suicide Squad Part 2? A lot of you guys have wanted me to check this one out. I completely forgot about it. I was drunk. Here we go. Hello.
Last time on Film Theory. So there you have it. All three Jokers fit cleanly into the three Joker comic model. But then that prompts the question. Now that Jared Leto is playing the Joker in Suicide Squad, is he a whole new character, or which Joker line would he be continuing? Mobius Chair, tell me, who is Jared Leto's Joker? Today, the thrilling conclusion.
That was loud.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, with an episode that's going to spend more time analyzing the Joker's Suicide Squad appearance than the time he actually spent on the movie. Seriously,
damn it.
Harley, I'm coming for you in a helicopter. Never mind. See you next movie. But don't let the brevity of his appearance fool you. He's probably the most important part of the film, and definitely a whole lot more important than that hula dancing enchantress, because his connection to the three Joker theory leaves the door wide open to some huge revelations about the DC film universe and where it might be headed next. Last time we took a look at the three Joker theory, the fact that the three live-action versions of the Joker from the movies perfectly correspond to the huge reveal in DC Comics that there were three different Jokers running amok. There's the Jack Nicholson Joker from the Golden Age, the mob boss mass murderer, the Cesar Romero Joker from the Silver Age of comics, the bank heisting prankster, and the Heath Ledger Joker from the Bronze Age and Modern Age of comics, the psychopathic agent of chaos. If you haven't seen that last episode, click on this bat signal and grapple hook your way over to that video. But now we tackle the fourth and final live-action Joker, Suicide Squad's Jared Leto. How does he fit into all this? Well, it turns out that Jared Leto isn't a new Joker at all. He's just a reboot of one of the prior versions we've already seen. So the question is, which Joker is he?
Who said that? Wait, who confirmed that? No. Is this just
Will it be
theory?
Joker number 1?
This is kind of clever, though.
Joker number 2? Or Joker number 3? Jared Leto.
Yeah, baby.
Joker match is the Golden Age Joker, Jack Nicholson. He's a monster with a penchant for crushed purple velvet who will always keep you smiling. He loves long walks on the beach and dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Huh?
But why? Well, just look at the evidence. First, they both revel in violence. The Nicholson Joker and Jared Leto both are killers who enjoy killing. We see it time and again in Tim Burton's 1989 Batman. Jack Nicholson gleefully incinerating people with electrified hand buzzers, dancing around while shooting former partners, stabbing political figures in public with pens, while Bruce Wayne wanders around the crime scene like an idiot. Now look at Suicide Squad, where the Joker is frequently wielding a machine gun, gleefully spraying gunfire everywhere. Throughout the movie, we also see him repeatedly play mind games with other criminals before either killing them or having them killed. This means that we can solidly rule out the Cesar Romero Joker because he was from the Silver Age, where violence and war were all but whitewashed out of comics. He was just the kooky, crazy prankster who used wacky props to rob banks.
I always like that they nodded to that in The Dark Knight.
Resourceful with his weaponry, never resorting to traditional guns and knives. And now look at Suicide Squad's iconic knife arrangement scene. Not only does it reveal Joker's OCD tendencies and introduce the world to the verbal equivalent of the slow clap. Ha! 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 Seriously, that laugh is a slow clap. But it reveals that Leto's Joker ain't showing the same ingenuity with his armory.
I didn't just get
knives,
that. I mean, I didn't realize that.
Caesar is out. See, and all you guys were worried that I'd spoiled this video with the thumbnail from last time. I pay attention to this stuff. But then what about Heath Ledger's Bronze Age Joker?
Alright.
Well, just think back to The Dark Knight. Ledger's Joker is
Guns are too quick.
insane, out of control, answering to no one. He appears and disappears randomly, surprising and often turning on the gangs who hired him. This clearly doesn't match up with the Jared Leto Joker.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, Suicide Squad's Joker is like the Kanye West of Gotham, a social butterfly that traded in his Shutter sunglasses for a blinged out grill. I mean, the guy hangs out in clubs with his entourage. For crying out loud, he has a girlfriend who, it's worth mentioning, we see him risk his life several times to save. He's surrounded by henchmen who act less like bronies and more like bronies. Or, I guess, just like bros, really. It's the first time that we ever see the Joker with a social circle. Or is it? Turns out the Jack Nicholson Joker matches Jared Leto when it comes to this little posse of his. Just like Leto, Jack is a crime boss with an army of disposable henchmen at his, disposal. In fact, both are mob bosses who rule over organized crime in Gotham. They mobilize huge efforts to do things like art museums or break into maximum security prisons. And the important part about all of this is that these activities have literally nothing to do with Batman. In fact, Batman's only role there is to get in the way of everything. For Heath Ledger's Joker, his goals only ever revolve around Batman. It goes back to what we talked about last episode. The Bronze Age Joker is totally dependent on Batman. The yin to his yang, the sunny to his share, the third pairing that should be funny and isn't coming to mind right now. But the Golden Age Joker's doesn't. He has crimes and schemes planned, and Batman is only a roadblock to completing those. So, there you have it. Jared Leto's Joker is a reinvention of the Golden Age OG Joker of the comics, the grinning Jack Nicholson-esque mobster. And it's been softly confirmed by Suicide Squad's director that he went into the Golden Age origins of the character when deciding how the Joker would fit into this new movie's world. But so what? I hear you saying. Why'd you force me to wait on a cliffhanger just for this? Excellent question.
That's a good question, actually.
Will be well worth it, because knowing how Leto fits in with the Three Joker theory has some wild implications about the DCU. You see, one of the major ways DC's comic universe differs from that of Marvel's is its emphasis on parallel worlds. The concept allows to explore a wide histories without contradicting the established continuity of the main universe. The modern version of this dates back to 1961, when the writers of The Flash were trying to figure out a way for Golden Age versions of characters to appear in stories alongside their Silver Age counterparts. Thus began a story titled Flash of Two Worlds, in which Barry Allen, the modern Flash, travels to another Earth, accidentally vibrating at the right speed to appear on another planet, where he meets Jay Garrick, that parallel Earth's version of the Flash.
So
cool. Too long didn't listen. They created parallel Earths to try and explain away the overcomplicated stories. Because using physical cosmology hypotheses is always going to make things simpler, am I right?
But you know, this is really DC's strength. Honestly.
Please don't leave me hanging. I have a perpetual fear of being left hanging. Please high five your
I'm here.
Thank you. Anyway, the number and canonicity of these alternate universes have varied over the years due to DC's policy of using or abandoning the concept at various points in its history, with the number of Earths going anywhere between 52 to infinity and beyond. Earth 1 is most famous for being inhabited by the Silver Age heroes. Earth 2's claim to fame is being the universe where Quebec is an independent nation from Canada. Oh, and it's also home to the Golden Age version of these characters. And then that would leave
3 Prime
Bronze Age characters, right? Ha! Yeah, I wish. That would have made this episode a whole lot easier.
Right? Yeah, it's Prime.
3 is backwards history Earth, a world where Christopher Columbus discovered Europe instead of America, and where morality is reversed.
Yes, okay, duh.
Your favorite heroes. And no,
The Crime
I'm not making
Syndicate.
Any of this up. It's basically the DC equivalent of fan fiction.
Wait, which one is Earth Prime then?
Heroes, they're scattered around the various multiverse timelines. But since we're specifically talking about Batman, everyone's
maybe that's Earth 2.
grizzled, rodent-themed detective from The Dark Knight Returns can be found on Earth 31. 31, obviously. Why wouldn't you think to look there? Well, I'm sorry, he was on Earth 31 until a reworking of the universes made Earth 31 home to the pirate versions of these characters. You think I'm joking, but I swear it is all real. So that's a very general overview of how DC's comics work, but what's it got to do with the Joker? Well, DC hasn't been content with just leaving the parallel universe concept solely to the pages of the comics. From the very first episode of the Flash TV series, the creators have been hinting at the existence of the DC multiverse.
Dimensional barrier ruptured, unleashing unknown energies into our world. Antimatter, dark energy, X elements. Those are all theoretical.
Yes,
How theoretical are you, Barry?
Eureka, we've gotten it. But then later that same episode, a newspaper mentions a crisis and Red skies. Both of these are references to DC's Crisis comics, perhaps most famously Crisis on Infinite Earths, which are always these massive events.
I wonder if he's gonna go into this whole thing of mixing the TV and the movie thing together.
Crossover to solve some cataclysmic threats. If DC is building to a franchise crossover on a scale larger than Justice League, this would likely be the type of story they'd try to tackle. And it seems like they're interested. Since that first episode, The Flash has built much more of its main plot around multiverses, including a visit to Earth 2. Season 2, Episode 13 of The Flash was a hub of crossovers, confirming a shared canon with both the Supergirl TV show and another DC TV franchise, Legends of Tomorrow.
And it's so cool.
Video, I brought up DC creative
Jeff Johns, now he's in charge.
A key player in the cinematic universe, as well as the 3 Joker reveal. Now, in an interview with BuzzFeed, he's also mentioned the magic M word, multiverse. Quote, well, Arrow and Flash are the same universe, and we get a lot of great story out of that, especially when we have episodes that cross them over. But that's also where our superhero universe lives. We look at it as the multiverse. We have our TV universe and our film universe, but they all coexist. So clearly, the groundwork for a DC multiverse exists and is on their mind, but then we have Darkseid. As hinted at as one of Batman's fever dreams in Batman v Superman, the heroes will soon be forced to fight against
Oh, that was a dope scene, though.
The Omega symbol, one of the biggest baddies
a dope scene in a
comics and the main
very bad
antagonist
movie.
to the Justice
But that was a
League,
dope-ass scene.
Darkseid. So very clearly we know that this guy's coming, but based on the comics, we also know that he's a villain who just so happens to cross multiverses quite frequently, and has been known to kill off some major players on some of these versions of Earth. So, what does it all mean? Well, let's look at the 3 Joker theory one last time. We have a Golden Age Joker in Suicide Squad, and a Bronze Age Joker in The Dark Knight. We have an old Batman unafraid to murder in recent DC movies, and also one who is significantly less murdery in The Dark Knight trilogy. We have a comics franchise known for crossing over its multiverses, and a movie division fighting against the juggernaut of Marvel, falling victim time and again to negative reviews. So considering all of this, there's one trump card on the table for DC that does everything they need it to do. It differentiates them from Marvel, provides huge fan service, has the potential to reset all their missteps,
multiverses,
movie lore, delivers a massive box office, and all while still adhering to their comic roots, creating a parallel universe crossover, a crisis event. That's right, a Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Batman team to fight the combined powers of the mob boss Jared Leto Joker and the unhinged chaos bringer of the Bronze Age Heath Ledger equivalent.
I would fucking love this movie.
Just the Justice League with different faces, but an inter-series crossover where multiple
so fucking dope.
actors who played the same
I've talked about this before.
It's the one thing DC has that Marvel doesn't. Golden Age crossing over with Bronze Age, crossing over with Silver Age for that matter. Who wouldn't love to see Christopher Reeve, film's most iconic Superman, reminisce with the Man of Steel over their parallel universe Marthas? Everyone loves talking about their mothers so much, and I get goosebumps just thinking about a lineup of Batman doing a slow motion hero walk. Keaton, Clooney, Kilmer, Affleck, Bale, West.
It looks so stupid though.
He's got a movie coming up too. Who wouldn't want to see that? It's like those episodes of Power Rangers where all the past seasons get
That's why I wouldn't want to see
battle,
it.
Except with Batman and versions of the Joker. Heck, while you're at it, throw in Superman teaming up
Yes
with
and no.
Superman to fight evil Superman. Long story short,
No, that would be cool.
Set for an intra-character crossover. Flashes with Flashes, Batman with Batman. And at a time when DC's movies are undergoing a bit of a crisis might just be the thing that they need.
Maybe that's a good point.
Like the 3 Jokers for that one. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Alright, so there you go.
Check out my dear friends over at the Wisecrack.
Dear friends,
channel, who just did a
Wisecrack.
video about
Alright.
Batman v Superman.
Thank you so much, Film Theory, again for this wonderful exposition. So, I need to talk about. Hold on. I want to
Job
see.
making it seem like this movie had a lot more meaning behind it than it actually does. I mean, it's still a convoluted mess, but it's almost like they intended it to have a deeper message, one that the Wisecrack team will make you truly appreciate. So make sure that you Superman slap that button right there and tell them that Matt Pat sent you. Proves that I have value in life.
Fair enough. Fine. Okay. Sorry. All right. Thank you, Film Theory, and thank you for allowing me to react to that. So, let me backtrack here. How much time do I have here? All right. We got some time here. A little bit of time. Let me see. When does Flash come out? Because that's the Flash movie. Because here, there's a, okay. Let me take you back, way back into time, about 2 years ago or so. It was 3 years ago when X-Men X-Men Future and the Past, what is it called in English? Days of Future and Past, right? But in Japanese it was X-Men Future and the Past. When that came out, I loved it. We all loved it, right? But I remember at this time I was more active in this fan community that I would moderate for The Dark Knight Rises, the Dark Knight trilogy and such. And then at the same time, Batfleck was also cast, and there was a lot of inner fighting about this situation, and Man of Steel was overall not so great, or for most people, and the people were having a big issue with the killing in that movie as well, right? So there was this theory that like even back then, I remember I told people to really go out and support X-Men Days of Future and Past, because that's the one, I wanted that movie to be so popular and make so much money that it would intrigue other companies to basically do the Marvel effect, the Avengers effect. It was like, oh shit, Avengers made all this money, we need to start doing exactly the same thing but change it just a bit. And so I wanted that X-Men movie to do so well enough that it would wake somebody up at DC, so they could basically take the cream of the crop of the main thing that draws people into their comics a lot, the multiverse situation. It's like, look, if you don't like this Batman, we got this Batman for you. Or this age of Batman. If you want Pirate Batman, we got that. I love the Injustice comic book. That's my shit. And then when Tom Taylor was writing Earth 2, that shit was some of the best writing was in fucking Evil Superman. But I don't like regular Superman, the Action Comic Superman. I have friends who really like it, but overall I'm kind of just like, nah, this is too easy. But I love the fucking Evil Superman, and then I love Val-Zod, that storyline. I love Thomas Wayne as Batman. Shit is dope. Anyways, I always felt like that was the thing, and I'm glad that film theory picked up on that as well. But the problem here is it's complicated. It's very complicated to explain that shit. Flash has done an excellent job, the TV show. The Flash has done an excellent job of explaining this, but at the multiverse situations, but at the same time, the bigger issue here is that Flash has had time to explain it. They have multiple episodes that they slowly sort of seeped into it and explained it. And then, you know, if you ever get a chance, I know a lot of you guys didn't, but watch the Flash Supergirl crossover. That was great. That was one of the best episodes I've seen. Like, that shit helped me so much watch that episode after watching BVS and such. I was like, okay, now this is a real crossover. But the point I bring this up is the fact that Grant Gustin actually spends some time explaining the multiverse. So those explanations can work. It just depends on the right screenplay, the right director, and I really stress that a lot because seriously, Snyder can't do it. I'm sorry, but Snyder cannot do that shit. Explain things for the general public. If you're like, I feel like we are getting multiverse hints here. It was in BVS. It's just not. You can't do it over fucking 4 to 6 goddamn years and have people be like, yeah. And if it's not working out in your first 2 movies already, you can't expect people to hang on for the long road. You know, that's a big, you can't, It doesn't work like that for movies. You can do it. I told Dante Carver about this a while back. You can do it with comics because it's a fucking $3, $4 or whatever, a $4 investment, and comic book readers generally will stick with something, a storyline, for the most part, for at least 3 or 4 issues, right? And then see how it goes. As long as the pace is good. But that's a medium that works that way. You can't do it with movies. And of course, like always, whenever you start comparing DC, then you get people starting Marvel, right? But that was a whole different issue, and the fact that that wasn't the main point. Like, you had your introductions, and it was gradually showing that the Avengers was going to the concept was very similar to the same idea of the way the comic book started, the way the Justice League comic book started, or I believe the Avengers as well, was the fact that it was like a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1 deal. All your favorite characters in one comic, all your favorite characters in one movie. Okay, now if DC had gone that route with their the building up to the Justice League, maybe that would have helped a little bit more. But that's a whole nother story. Building into the multiverse, it could work. It could work, but it's just gotta be, and I hope if there's one man that can pull it off properly, maybe it's gonna be Jeff Johns. Maybe that's where we're gonna go. That's where we're going, and maybe that's where that's why I pulled it up. We have we have Doctor Strange, Wolverine, but in terms of DC World, next year in, what is June, maybe June. In June we get Wonder Woman, right? So that's the next DC. That's a bit scary because that's a little less than a year since Suicide Squad. So I'm a little worried about people's and the general market even being interested in DC movies. I'm very worried about that. But anyways, Wonder Woman in June, and then which is a period piece for the most part. It's possible, and then after that, the next movie is Justice League Part 1. And then after that, we next in 2 years, March 18th, we have The Flash. So I was thinking maybe The Flash would be maybe in Justice League it might bridge something in terms of maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe Jeff Johns is going to do something in Justice League. Darkseid appears, and Flash is somehow connected to that in that story, and that will bleed over into people wanting to watch what's going to happen in the Flash movie. Maybe the end of Justice League is the beginning of Flashpoint Paradox. And that's why we all be like, what the fuck? What happens next? And everybody tunes into Flash, the movie, which would be Flashpoint Paradox. Maybe. I don't know. I don't claim to know these things, but maybe that's what's going on. Jeff Johns, hi. My name's Akasan, and we've talked before on Facebook, right? We've talked before. So if you get a chance, if you're watching this, and why wouldn't you be, please contact me on Twitter or back on Facebook, and let's talk about this. Let's hash this out. Lend me your ear for just a bit. I dressed up like a Red Lantern one time, and I sent you a photo of me, and you said, cool. Please, let's talk. And there's something else I was going to tell you about the movies and such. And so long ago, when I was talking about Days of Future and Past, I remember talking about Batman and how it would be so dope to have Christian Bale come back for just a cameo, to be working with Batfleck and having a few other I think somebody, one of the older Batman, I think it was Val Kilmer or Michael Keaton, said they'd be up for all Batman film or something like that. I'm like, holy shit, that'd be fucking awesome, like multiverse. But it's gotta be filmed right. It's gotta be filmed right. Yeah. all I can say is, guys, let me know. And with that, I am going to leave you with just a taste of what I feel was one of the coolest scenes. It's not multiverse, but it is one of those things that really give you the feeling of what they very much could do in the DCEU. Let's pray. And I'll leave you with that clip. I'm out. Batman, assemble.
You've traveled about 50 years into your future.
And the Watchtower?
It's gone. We lost a lot of good people that day.
You mean Superman? Jean? All the others?
Yeah. You too. And the Batcave? This is all we have left now. Deal with it. Surprised to see me? A little. I'm more surprised that I lived so long.
Batman, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, Batman. Or have you met?
Not now!
Great. What did they used to call it? Stereo?
If he wanted to steal the pearls, why'd he intentionally f*** up the necklace by pulling this gun bolt? Now he'll have to pick them out of the rich people blood. Over goddamn use of slow goddamn motion.
Yes.
No. Remember this, it will become inexplicably and infuriatingly important later. What? Also, confidence-building bat tornado.
A beautiful lie.
Ben Affleck describes
It's a
this movie in one
dream.
sentence.